I've been a walking heartache, I've made a mess of me. The person that I've been lately ain't who I wanna be. But you stay here right beside me and watch as the storm blows through, and I need you. 'Cause God gave me you for the ups and downs.
I've been a trainer for over 21 years, and our program, This Able Veteran, is a nonprofit organization that's established to train service dogs for veterans living with injuries, both visible and invisible. The amazing thing about training service dogs for veterans is the ability to affect the way that these people live on a day-to-day basis, to be able to change the life of another human being because of your skill. I had the privilege of speaking at Harvard. I was invited there to speak about This Able Veteran and what we're doing with the service dog program. A gentleman stood up in the back and he said, I didn't know whether I could or would come today to hear about this, he said, but I want to tell you about my son. He said, my son came home from serving, and he was not the boy who left. He had always been his mother's son, a friendly, outgoing, gregarious, warm kid. But when he came home, he was very different. He was withdrawn. He was emotionless. He was angry. He was sad. He was depressed. And we made all of the mistakes that parents make, his father said. And we told him, son, just tell us what happened. We can handle it. Of course, he couldn't do that. And as time went on, he became more and more depressed. He began drinking heavily and having suicidal ideations. And his father finally said, son, you need to get some help. You need to get over this. And he said, Dad, I can't. If I go to a counselor, I won't be able to be a state trooper like I wanted. And that would have been true. He would not have been able to become a state trooper if he sought mental health care. And so he continued on, and he drank more heavily. He got more and more depressed, his father said, until finally he had such suicidal tendencies that his father decided, we've got to call the suicide hotline, he said. And he said, I called, and an angel answered the phone that night. And she talked to me for a while, and she talked me down. And then she talked to my son, and she talked him down. And we were so thankful for her. And finally, as the night wore on, the rest of the family went to bed, and I was sitting on the couch. And my son, big square-jawed Marine, walked in, and he was crying. And he came to me and he said, Dad, would you hold me in your arms like you used to when I was little? He said, I did. I held him in my arms. I held him right to my chest. And we both cried. And he said that was one of the most important times of my life, to be there to hold my son. And he said, I held him to my chest again the next morning when I cut him down from the rafter in the garage. This is a program that is designed to help people living with the ravages of PTSD. This is a program that's designed to help in recovery.
Because you can't do it by yourself. You can't. I don't care who you are. You can't do it by yourself. no matter how you may feel about yourself, your dog loves you anyway. My first thought was it was too good to be true. People don't do something for nothing. And far fewer do anything for veterans. And I think it's wonderful what you're doing and the people around you are doing. I wish they had done it 40 years ago. And I'm fairly angry that they didn't. But I think the Disabled Veteran is a program that should be replicated all over the United States.
We have a unique program that we call veteran-centric. Veteran-centric in that we have the veteran at the heart of the program. And we have the dog and our staff of trainers and team and the veteran's own counselor or therapist. And we all three work together to help that veteran in their recovery. We cover many areas of training of service dogs. We cover dog selection, how to select the right dog. What does it take for a dog to make it in this field? What's the right breed? What's the right temperament? What's the right age? We go through all of those things. We also go through how to select whether a veteran is going to be a good candidate for a service dog, the subject of matching veterans with dogs. That's very important that we make a good and appropriate match. How to recognize what traits are going to be necessary in a dog for this individual veteran. And then we go into the building of anxiety alerts. There are anxiety attacks that can go along with PTSD. There can be panic attacks that go along with PTSD. Isolation, numbing, avoidance. There are many factors that are hallmarks of PTSD. By building in the dog the ability to alert the veteran at the early onset of anxiety, at the early onset of a panic attack, we teach you to teach the dogs to recognize these early warning signs, indicate without any chance of being misunderstood, very clear alerts, so that the veteran is able to then take action to help themselves through the situation rather than being caught off guard. The building of the alerts, the selection of the dog, the selection of the veteran, and how to match appropriately, along with a host of other things in the school, understanding dog behavior, understanding how to relate the way a dog sees the world with how the veteran is coping. It's important for a service dog to keep their eyes on the individual that they're working for, even in the presence of something they might really want. For example, with my dog, he may want food. If he wants food, I still want him watching me. So I'm going to demonstrate, if I take some food, even if it's right in front of his face, I still want him looking at me. Want at me? Listen. Good. I have food. He wants it, but I want him to look at me. So even if I'm passing food directly in front of his face, or in front of his nose where he can smell it, that's what I want. Yes.
It made me not feel all alone. It made me not feel alone.
We are
we came out here, and my whole life changed.
Pray we never undo. 'Cause God gave me you for the ups and downs. God gave me you for the days of doubt. God gave me you for the ups and downs. God gave me you for the days of doubt. And for when I think I lost my way, there are no words here left to say it's true. God gave me you. Gave me you. He gave me you.
This is a field that is so overwhelmed with applicants that even if every service dog trainer in the country all joined hands and put all of our efforts to training enough dogs for these veterans, we couldn't begin to touch it. And for that reason, the Sable Veteran is developing a national network of trainers to help meet that need, to cultivate trainers that are new to this field and expand the number of dogs that we can train. This need is so pervasive. The effect on the veterans themselves and the veterans' families that PTSD can have is devastating. A well-trained service dog that is properly bred, properly selected, properly matched to a veteran in need can change their life and the life of their families. This is an opportunity for professional trainers to expand their skills, expand their ability to serve their own communities, and to meet the needs of the veterans who have defended their freedom, my freedom. I'm here to stay. This is what I do. This is what I love, and I invite you to join me in this challenge of meeting the needs of injured veterans through the work of trained service dogs.
Not see the young men and women coming home do what I did. And that's drink and drug, divorce, prison. There is another way, and there is hope. There is.